Truck's here, Aladino.
Yeah. Brain function decreased. Talk slow. Think slow. Respond like always.
Aladino.
Slow.
Yeah. We bought our boat 3 years ago, sight unseen. We've spent exactly 1 year and 3 months working on it full time. And now, for the first time ever, we're going to see this boat outside of the shed. The truck has arrived, and Magic Carpet is heading up to Canada. Man, I'm glad I don't have to drive this truck. It seems stressful. What a thing to maneuver. We've come a long way. Just 6 months ago, there was practically no interior at all. There was no cockpit, no bulwarks, and no fiberglass on the decks or cabin top. Nothing was painted or varnished. Now the interior has come together, the cockpit is in place, and the boat is well protected with fiberglass and epoxy. There's still a lot to do, but instead of waiting for another 6 months to reset our visas, we've decided to move the boat up to Canada, where we can continue work at a more relaxed pace. What's going through your mind, Aladino?
Oh, not much. Just one blank slate.
It's a very interesting process.
Yeah, totally.
Whoever came up with this whole idea was really scratching his noggin before he came up with it and built it.
Totally. That's pretty cool.
And I'm still trying to figure out how he's going to get the last little bit.
It's a mystery.
I expected also peat and fog, but somebody had some sleep. No.
What?
When he said, "How are you?" or something. I forgot. What?
Oh boy. Okay, yikes. I love you, Charlene.
It was a really interesting process to see the truck move the boat out. The boat obviously was in a workshop, so you cannot use a crane, neither a travel lift, and that is when these trucks come to play. They can drive underneath the boat, and then it's all about placing the pads in the right place, and then it hydraulically gets lifted. Then you can remove the stands, remove the blocks that the boat was sitting on. So it can be nerve-wracking, but it was a professional at play, and we just kept our distance.
Now it's really exciting to have this move happen and knowing how far that we've come. There's still a lot that we're going to do here that will really change the exterior aesthetics. The eyebrow on the cabin top is one kind of small thing that makes a huge aesthetic difference. The cap rail, the rub rail on the exterior of the hull, those will all really change. Of course, we're gonna put new anti-fouling on. Of course, the gel coat's gonna get a polish. The bow sprit, all of that is all going to be added. Now, there is one benefit of having the boat not look its shining best for the move up to Canada, and that is, of course, the border crossing. Now, we worked with a broker to get the boat all prepared to cross the border. You do have to pay sales tax on it since it's a Canadian registered boat entering Canada for the first time, and that sales tax is calculated based on the sales price. So, combined with this sort of, less than perfect looking exterior, I wasn't too worried about the Canadian border giving us any additional hassles. We know what the future of the boat contains, and we know how spectacular it will be, but you know, it probably pays to move to Canada before that vision comes to life. This is a huge moment, Aladino.
Pretty big one.
Life-changing. In a big way. It's a new
Yeah.
chapter opening. This
Yeah.
chapter is closing.
Totally, and it's good to have chapters.
Yeah.
They're not just the same.
Yeah, it is.
Totally.
I mean, the next chapter will still be a boat work chapter, but in a new place, in a new environment, new people, new everything.
Totally. No, and I'm proud of us. We've come a very long way. We've done amazing work.
Got a pretty heavy
I'm proud of us too. I'm not gonna miss the boat work, but I am gonna miss this chapter. The people here
Oh yeah, it was
are
fabulous.
so wonderful.
Totally. No, it's what a wonderful setup.
Yeah,
It's going to be slightly frustrating until we're settled into a groove again.
yeah,
But yeah, now definitely a break, a holiday, and then try again to power through it and then get more of a balance.
yeah,
And very soon enjoy it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dad?
I think it's quite an operation.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous trailer that they have for putting it on the road.
Yeah,
Like he was saying, there's a 5-year backlog if you want to order one because and there's updated versions. This one's from the late 70s. It's a pretty cool setup, that's for sure, and very effective.
Totally. I'm glad that it can carry the mast on the side and that it doesn't have to go on the boat.
yeah,
Especially this boat, the mast to boat length is quite the ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be challenging not to make it a soggy noodle.
totally.
So yeah, this is nice. It was very exciting to see the boat on the truck and outside, and I could take a few steps back and admire the lines from a little further away than what we have been seeing so far in the workshop for quite some time. So yeah, it was nice to get a new perspective on it, and it was dry, the ground was firm that it was standing on, and it was perfect.
So, tears. Empty shed. I'm crying because we just said goodbye to the family that we're staying with. Yeah, the family here has really just invited us into their lives, and we've gotten to know all their friends and their family, and it's really hard to leave, honestly, but yeah, we've formed some really strong connections here. But yeah, we're gonna go see our boat now up in Canada. I'm gonna stop crying in a moment. It's a happy sort of tears, the tears of, you know, when you're so grateful and happy that you have so much that you're leaving behind. So yeah, it's the end of an era, the beginning of a new one. Next stop, Canadian border. So the boat move went really smoothly, no troubles at the border, no troubles at the yard, everything as it was planned. So I'm really, really happy. It was a lot of work and a lot of paperwork to plan this move and to coordinate all the moving parts with the customs broker and the transport company and the yard and the travel lift at the yard. So it was a lot going on, but because of all that prior planning, yeah, it went off smoothly. So we're here. We actually have no idea where our boat is, like none whatsoever. So we're just gonna drive around until we find her. So keep your eyes peeled, Aladino.
All right.
This seems to be the commercial area, though. Up here seems to be the pleasure
It's a bit of
craft.
mix. Yeah. Oh, there we are.
Oh,
Wow, behind the
Wow.
beauty. A beauty behind the beauty. Damn, our boat looks like a peepsqueak. Look at that,
tiny.
is it? It's
Good
tender?
grief.
Holy,
Oh my
no,
gosh.
seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, it's tender.
That's so funny.
Right? All right, gotta figure out where the ladders are. Wanna go figure out the ladder?
I guess so. Well, we can take the bowsprit off the car and put it somewhere as well. A whole new set of a whole new future ahead. So a brand new adventure ahead and in a completely different environment. We're now in the middle of a bustling boatyard rather than sort of on this really rural property. Now, Aladino and I have had a few conversations actually about how to approach this new environment because we were always really careful while in Washington to never reveal our location because we were on private property, on someone else's property, and we really wanted to make sure to respect their privacy. Now we're in a different environment and we still want to be really careful with our location. We want to make sure that we're clear. The boat's not open to visitors. Now we can't wait to make friends here and we can't wait to sort of integrate ourselves into the boating community here. But I think any reasonable person would understand sort of our reticence in broadcasting our location. Now it's entirely possible that if you're local to the area, you know exactly where we are and you recognize it instantly. But I would really ask you to please not include that in any of your comments. We're trying to make sure we can continue to work throughout the day so that we can get work done and not feel as though we're sort of on a 24/7 open house over here. And we'll continue sharing our story as we do through YouTube and Patreon. How does it look?
Looks like the cockpit coaming flew off.
Aladino.
There's no cockpit coaming.
Aha, you're hilarious.
Get acquainted with the new surroundings. There's a nice electric buzz from the wires overhead. That's a nice view here into a ditch.
Aladino.
Well, that's not meant negative. There's a river or something. Is a ditch negative?
No, well, yeah, it doesn't have the best connotations.
Okay.
It's a canal.
There's a swamp.
Oh, that's also.
Oh, there's planes here too.
Planes.
And maybe some birds on the tree right behind us.
All right, Deanie, are we going to our Airbnb for the night?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll show you and tell you more about that in a moment.
totally.
One really beautiful thing that happened here is our patron, Greg, you've heard his name before, he's been just a huge source of support throughout this refit, and even before that. So Greg knew that we were sort of concerned about housing, and so the first few days that we arrived in Canada, he actually got us an Airbnb near the boatyard. It was this beautiful float home, so nice to return to. It was what an absolutely beautiful reintroduction to Canada. So Greg, thank you so much. And fortunately, I did actually manage to find some more longer term housing through a friend of mine in Vancouver who's going away, so we're going to be able to sublet her room. So that's all worked out really, really well. Greg, huge thank you for being the massive source of support that you are. We really appreciate it.
So, day 3 of actually being in Canada. We're slowly getting settled in here, and yeah, time to show you guys around. So as you can see, we can move around in the boat a little better now, and that is because there was actually a storage container free, and we grabbed it right away. It's gonna make the work more pleasant.
When you arrive to a new place that you're going to be spending quite a lot of time in, I think there can be a feeling of being very unsettled. You know, we couldn't even walk through the boat because we had piled everything up in here for transport. So we just took a day yesterday, we didn't film, and we tried to organize our lives and our minds a little bit better to sort of envision how the work here is going to be able to progress. And like Aladino said, I think the container is going to make a huge difference. I also visited the house that we are going to be staying in and just getting a lay of the land. We walked around the harbor, had a look at the surrounds, got acquainted with the Canadian boatyard. It's funny because I am so well acquainted with so many boatyards in Europe now, but I've actually never been really in a boatyard in my own country. But what I think we haven't yet really told you about is our actual plans. After that intensity of finishing the boat in the States and just the absolute, 100% immersion in all of that, I think we both really need a break. I probably really need a break, and Aladino could of course use one as well. So we aren't actually going to be here for too long. We're going to go see Magic Carpet 1 for a few weeks, not for too long, have a little bit of fun, but also, and perhaps most importantly, get her ready to sell eventually as well. So yeah, right now I'll show you around, and then I'm actually taking off to go see my grandma. I'm going to have lunch with her, which is why I'm not in boatyard clothes. That's another benefit of being in Canada. I have some family closer by, so it's all working out.
Yes, very much looking forward to a holiday. So what I did yesterday is drilling out the scuppers in the bulwarks. There were 10 openings and I've opened all of those. One thing that I would like to get done though still in the last 2 days, hopefully I'll manage, is to put some fairing compound onto the side decks. And that is because there is really quite a bit of sun right now, and I prefer having some fairing over top of the glass to protect it a little better from UV. Here we are, our new workshop. I'm trying to go find some cardboard to mix the total fare on it later on today, but first I'll just be peeling off the peel ply from the side decks and pass over with the sander. Wouldn't this make a fun DJ booth?
Oh my goodness. We relaxed that evening at the float home. The next morning, we'd check out, say goodbye to Magic Carpet, and head off for the next adventure. Hey Deanie.
Hey,
What are we working on right now?
working on leaving.
Working on leaving. So we're headed to my parents for a bit. It's not close enough to the boatyard to do day trips. Gonna go over there,
Yes,
and then we're flying to Europe.
totally.
So we're just making sure things are safe and secure.
Yeah, sure now.
Yeah, I think we're almost ready to go. Thank you so much for watching. It's been really exciting to share these videos up to the move and to read all of your really uplifting comments and enthusiasm for the project that we've been working on. So really a huge thank you. Next week, we're going to head off to Sweden to be reunited with Magic Carpet 1, have a few weeks of adventure, perhaps if we can organize her sale, and then we are heading back and we're going to continue work on Magic Carpet 2. So big things ahead. We're probably going to end up building some sort of shelter over Magic Carpet 2 to protect her from the elements, because I think it's going to be pretty hard to get some work done if we don't. But that's all to come. That's all to figure out for later. Right now it's just about a break, a pause, sinking back into a slower pace of life for a little bit. Huge thank you for being here. Huge thank you for leaving your comments. We do read all the comments. We read them all. So I don't respond to them all, but every single comment gets read. We really, really love reading them. So thank you for writing them. If you enjoyed the video, please leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you really are interested in the progress of Magic Carpet 2 and would like to get some real-time updates on the project, we do real-time updates on our Patreon every week, and you can get access to that for as little as $2 a month. It's really flexible how you sign up to Patreon, so you can support $2 per episode, and you can choose to only support 1 episode a month or 2 episodes a month, or however many you like, or every episode that comes out every week. So yeah, that's on Patreon, and that's what keeps this channel going. So huge thank you to our patrons for your massive support, and an extra big thank you to the folks whose names are now appearing on screen for really going the extra mile to make sure that Magic Carpet keeps being produced. We will see you all next Friday.